Important update about YouTube playlists. Hey everyone. We've received many messages asking why our YouTube playlists aren't showing up. Do we create YouTube playlists? Yes, we absolutely do. So why can't you see them? Honestly, we're not sure. We've been in contact with YouTube support for several months now, but we still haven't received a clear answer or solution. After much discussion, our team has decided to take matters into our own hands. We believe the issue might be related to the number of playlists we've created on a single channel, possibly too many. Our solution? We're launching 2 additional YouTube channels, giving us a total of 3. This way, we can organize our audiobooks better and avoid the playlist visibility issue in the future. This change only affects our YouTube audience. If you're a patron supporter, you can still access all our audiobooks by visiting the collection menu on Patreon. Thanks so much for your time and continued support. Happy listening. Chapter 245. Unlucky fellow Wu Yu got so excited that when he stood up, his left foot tripped over his right foot. With a loud thud, he fell flat on his face right in front of Chi Zhao, putting on quite the performance of eating dirt for everyone. Just as Chi Zhao was about to bend down to help him up, Jinsha grabbed his arm. Stay away from him, or you'll catch his bad luck. Alright, right, no problem, I can get up myself, Wu Yu said with a laugh as he stood up, dusting off his hands. Brother Chi truly is my lucky star. Last time you paid for my chicken, and now you appear right when I'm starving to save me from dire straits. Brother Chi, got anything to eat? Chi Zhao pointed at Wu Yu, then looked at Jinsha with a puzzled expression. Jinsha nodded. This idiot hasn't eaten in 4 days either. Chi Zhao was speechless. When Wu Yu saw Chi Zhao take out that all too familiar clay oven chicken, he couldn't help but swallow hard. Thanks to the realm bracelet's times top function, the chicken was in exactly the same state as when Chi Zhao first stored it. Fresh out of the oven, oily and piping hot. Wu Yu wiped the drool from his mouth with the back of his hand, then slapped his belly with both hands. His previously round belly immediately deflated. All the air bubbles inside burst, turning into nothing. Wu Yu let out several loud burps in succession. Taking the chicken, Wu Yu tore off a drumstick and offered it to Jinsha. Jinsha turned her head away in disgust. I'm not eating. Oh, I get it, Wu Yu said with a sly grin. You must have eaten alone outside. I did not. There's still oil on the corner of your mouth. Jinsha hurriedly wiped her mouth. If you're not eating, take it to DD. He won't eat. He doesn't even need to poop now, what would he eat? Don't talk about disgusting stuff while we're eating. Wu Yu made a gagging sound, then stuffed the drumstick into his mouth. What about old Lin if DD won't eat? No idea, Jinsha added. DD said he went out and hasn't returned. Oh. Wu Yu nodded while gnawing on the drumstick. He threw the cleaned bone to Basie. Basie opened its snake mouth and swallowed it whole. Wu Yu made quick work of the entire chicken. He choked several times from eating too fast. Luckily Chi Zhao handed him water just in time. Burpa. So good. Those air bubbles can't compare to roast chicken at all. Wu Yu rubbed his belly with satisfaction. Ouch. Something stuck in my teeth. Brother Chi, got a toothpick? Dental floss would work too. Jinsha shook her head. You never used to get food stuck when eating chicken before. This bad luck is really something. Wu Yu sighed and spread his hands helplessly. Brother Chi, if you don't mind, I've got a hand-drawn protective talisman here. As he spoke, Wu Yu reached into his small cloth bag. The moment he reached in, whether from the bag being old and worn or him pulling too hard, the bottom tore open. A pile of yellow talisman spilled out. Watching this scene, Chi Zhao couldn't help but think, this guy's really committed to the act. After causing such a big incident in Zune, he's still pretending not to know me? And doesn't he think it's strange that Jinsha brought an outsider like me to meet their leader? Wait, why do you two give me the feeling of being familiar but not really familiar? Jinsha also noticed something was off. Being blunt, she spoke up, is this your special way of interacting with our undercover comrade? Wu Yu, who was scrambling to pick up the talismans, looked up in confusion. Huh? Undercover? Comrade? Ah, Chi Zhao is the undercover agent Yu recruited recently. Jinsha said exasperatedly. Wait, don't tell me you didn't know? Wu Yu leaned his neck toward Chi Zhao, face full of disbelief. You're undercover? You're Yu's undercover? The corner of Chi Zhao's mouth twitched as he smiled awkwardly. This guy really doesn't seem to be pretending. So he genuinely didn't know my identity. Then our previous encounters were truly coincidental? Could it really be that coincidental? No way. That's way too coincidental. Perhaps sensing Chi Zhao's doubt, Wu Yu quickly explained, Brother Chi, I truly didn't know you were our organization's undercover. This undercover operation was Yu's personal project. I wasn't involved. To protect the undercover's identity and prevent exposure, she handled all contact with you directly. Meaning before this, the only person in this world who knew your undercover identity was her. Well, that new yellow-haired kid following her might know too. Wu Yu added. I never imagined the promising newcomer Yu mentioned would be you, Brother Chi. Fate. This is truly heaven-sent fate, ha ha ha. Clutching the talismans, Wu Yu excitedly moved to hug Chi Zhao. Only to trip over his own feet again and faceplant once more. Seeing this, Jin Sha immediately stepped forward with arms outstretched to block him. Bad luck charm, back off. Don't spread your misfortune to others. Right. You're right. Wu Yu scratched his nose awkwardly to hide his embarrassment, got up, and went back to gathering the talismans. Chi Zhao smiled silently. This freedom organization was truly free in every sense. Boss, then. No need to call me boss, just Wu Yu is fine. Besides DD, no one calls me that. Jin Sha curled her lips, mercilessly exposing the truth. Chi Zhao nodded and continued, never thought I'd stumble upon the organization like this. Then he looked around, so this is the bunker storing the Hexed Gate energy generator? Quite impressive. So our original plan was to steal this gate? Wu Yu laughed, more or less. The initial plan was to hide in cargo and sneak into Yurden. But plans change. It turned into outright theft. Speaking of which, Brother Chi, this might be late, but I need to apologize. I worried Yu might have recruited a double agent, so I had her tell the undercover the mission was cancelled. Plus this plan B didn't involve the undercover much, so no need to inform them. Who knew the undercover would be you, Chi Zhao? Good thing nothing happened to you, or I'd be the prime culprit. Jin Sha crossed her arms and nodded. Yu might have put a bullet between your eyes. Wu Yu. Chi Zhao. Wu Yu quickly changed the subject. Chi Zhao, you have no idea. Since Zhang Zuan dumped us here, it's been 4 days without food or water. We didn't have much to begin with, plus feeding over 400 people. 2 more days and you could have collected our corpses. Zhang Zuan left you here? Chi Zhao was stunned. He knew Zhang Zuan had rescued Wu Yu, but never expected he'd also abandon them here. No wonder they all looked half-starved. Wait. Zhang Zuan also has station forecast. And a max level 1 at that. The information he got from stopping here must far exceed mine. Would the clock tower key still be there? Damn, am I too late? Chi Zhao's brow furrowed. No, that can't be. If the keys were gone, station forecast wouldn't have alerted me. Like last time at Paradise Island. It only mentioned getting the princess's hairpin at the castle. But it didn't mention the open treasure chest in the steel Clawraja Kikin nest. Because that chest had already been looted. Meaning those 3 keys must still be there. Only if they remain would station forecast give the prompt. Right, the keys must still be there. Realizing this, Chi Zhao's expression cleared. Jin Sha said disdainfully, all because you insisted on giving food to those Pi City enforcers. You starving is one thing, but dragging me down too. No choice. Your appetite's too big. 1 meal for you feeds 10 of them. Hearing this, Chi Zhao's opinion of Wu Yu shifted again. He'd thought Wu Yu was just a madman who started chaos, yet he only targeted order without harming others. Even willing to go hungry himself and make his subordinates endure it to share food with others. What deep grudge does this guy have with order? Besides, didn't we wait for Chi Zhao? Wu Yu grinned, we'll be leaving this hellhole soon. At this, Wu Yu frowned again. But what about this bunker? Bazi wagged its tail nearby, tongue flicking. Bazi hasn't recovered enough to grow big and swallow the bunker again. Needs at least half a month to heal. Not windy season now, and Chi Zhao's train leaves today. What do we do? What else? Abandon it. Have DD remove the core energy generator to take with us. What do we need this hunk of metal for? Upgrade material. Hearing this, Chi Zhao's eyes lit up. Exactly. Upgrades. Think how much metal and plastic this massive bunker contains. You're right. I'll have DD dismantle it now. Wait, no. There's still those 400 Pi City enforcers. Need to send them back to Zhun. Send my ass, just kill them. Jin Sha helpfully suggested. Ignoring her, Wu Yu continued with Chi Zhao, contact Yu. See if she can arrange a train. She previously obtained a storage artifact that can hold large items like trains. I know your communication method. That advanced bonded ring. See if she can send that storage artifact through it. Chi Zhao shook his head. Won't work. The message I sent Yu 3 days ago still hasn't been replied. Can't use your train either. Would be hard to explain later. My train's indeed unusable, but another would work. With that, Chi Zhao went outside to an open area and summoned the purple train obtained from the yellow-green-red brothers. It had 4 carriages total. 2 initial, 2 regular. Wu Yu's jaw dropped, Qizhou, your storage artifact's no simple thing either. Fitting a train this big. Qizhou smiled without explaining. Wu Yu immediately looked at Jinsha and grinned. Well then. Shasha, be a dear and escort them. Take them all back to Zun. Why me? Jinsha rolled her eyes. Because you're the best fighter among us. No problem. Leave it to me. Just escorting people, easy. Jinsha immediately boarded the train and logged in. The rear 3 carriages' doors opened simultaneously at her command. I'll go fetch them now. Hold on. Qizhou stopped Jinsha. When I passed the holding area earlier, some saw my face. If they leave like this and recognize me later. Wu Yu nodded. That is problematic. Problem? What problem? I'll just kill everyone in the front rows who could see the entrance. Jinsha turned to leave immediately. Wu Yu face-bombed with a headache. Sheiji, I beg you, stop making trouble. Then what's your brilliant solution? Qizhou pondered, then said, I passed the entrance quickly. Under 1 second. Even if those in front saw me, they probably didn't get a clear look. If I reinforce another impression, should be fine. He took out a thin face mask. The long unused thousand faces disguise. After thinking, Qizhou molded it into a familiar face. Anoka Yun's. At least 90% resemblance. Except the hair wasn't blonde. Seeing this, Wu Yu clapped repeatedly. Brilliant. Psychological suggestion works better than hiding or explaining. Disguised as Anoka Yun's, Qizhou and Jinsha arrived at the holding area entrance. Big sis. You pigs only know how to eat. No food today. Line up neatly and come out. Yes, big sis. Over 400 people filed out past Qizhou. They memorized his face thoroughly. Some even recognized Qizhou, whispering, isn't that Order's former deputy chief of the capture unit? So the rumors of him defecting to freedom were true. So that's who passed by earlier. Right, him. No wonder he looked familiar. Went on a mission with him 2.5 years ago. Quiet. Did I say you could talk? Though short, Jinsha's voice carried far. Keep chattering and you're staying behind. Chapter 246, a sardine can packed with hulking men Harur instantly silenced the crowd. So they're sending us back to Zun. Great, we're safe. We actually survived this ordeal. Fortune favors survivors after great dangers. This freedom organization isn't as notorious as Orderly Heaven claimed. Not only did they not kill us, they gave us food and are now sending us back. Honey, your man is coming home. Over 400 men walked out of the detention room with excitement. They formed 4 neat columns and marched into the train cars in perfect order. Jinsha stood atop a carriage, arms crossed, exuding authority without anger. Every man saluted Jinsha and shouted big sis. Before boarding. This was starting to seriously annoy Jinsha. Each of the 4 carriages measured 5 meters long and 3 meters wide. Normally, fitting 100 grown men would be extremely difficult. Let alone these well-trained enforcers. Nearly all stood over 1.8 meters tall, muscular, wearing identical heavy uniforms. 40 men per carriage already packed them to the doors. Wu Yu frowned at the sight. Yunshin. Can you upgrade this again? These 4 carriages don't seem enough. Qizhou shook his head helplessly. He couldn't speak, the thousand faces disguise couldn't alter voices. Speaking might reveal his identity. But he leaned close to Wu Yu's ear and whispered a solution. Wu Yu nodded repeatedly in approval after hearing it. Then he shouted up to Jinsha on the roof, Yunshin says make them strip naked. That way they'll all fit. Qizhou. Everyone turned to glare at Wu Yu and Anoka Yunshin. Qizhou maintained a stern expression against their hostile stares. Jinsha clicked her tongue and roared, what the hell are you looking at? Strip already. And those inside, get your asses out here and strip too. The men swallowed their anger and began removing their protective gear. Only when they were down to their underwear did Jinsha nod in satisfaction. Bored. Now each carriage packed 80 men instead of 40. They squeezed inside face to face, back to back. Viewed through the windows, they resembled canned sardines. Dude, can you turn around? Face to face is kinda awkward. Who the hell's grinding against me? Damn it. Jinsha jumped down and bellowed, I hear one more complaint. Complainers stay behind. I'll feed you to pigs. To deepen their impression, Qizhou even helped forcibly cram the remaining men inside. After Wu Yu's outburst, he was already hated anyway. Might as well make them loathe this face even more. Make them remember it clearly. They glared at Qizhou with suppressed fury. Damn Anoka Yunshin, just you wait. First thing back in Zun, I'm reporting you. Fuck. Once each carriage held exactly 100 men, Jinsha's voice controlled the doors shut. Then repeated the packing process with the next carriage. Finally, with Qizhou's help, all 400 men were stuffed into 4 carriages. Each packed with over 100 hulking men. A dense, human jigsaw puzzle. The humid rainy season made the carriages stuffy and damp. Water dripping from the ceilings quickly flattened their previously perky hair. Like a bunch of dispirited sick chickens. Fortunately, they only had to endure this for under 24 hours before reaching Zune. Jinsha entered the locomotive, her private room, before the first carriage filled. She summoned a light screen, selected the rest module, and chose the public platform, Zune. With a white flash, the train and its 400 passengers vanished. Wu Yu nodded approvingly. Finally resolved that nuisance. Qizhao removed the Thousand Faces disguise. This item wasn't infinitely usable, an energy bar appeared mentally when worn. After several uses today, less than half remained. His clothes also reverted to normal. No problems, let that blonde guy deal with their wrath. Qizhao, let's check DD's progress. Wu Yu turned to lead the way. Oh right, don't get too close. He suddenly spun back, crossing his arms in an X. Keep your distance. Qizhao smiled, maintaining 3 meters as he followed. We need the elevator down. I'll go to B3 first. You take the next one. Wu Yu pointed at the elevator, grinning, safety first, separate rides. Meanwhile, underground bunker level 3. Lao Yu, originally told to wait outside, was helping DD dismantle the Hexed Gate's energy generator. The generator consisted of 10 blue cylinders, each about 1 meter in diameter and 3 meters tall. From afar, they resembled oversized batteries. Intricate hand-carved runes covered their surfaces. Key positions were inlaid with gems emitting strange energy. A perfect fusion of technology and magic. One battery was already dismantled. DD had packaged and set it aside. That's it, Lao Yu. Now unplug the 3rd and 5th transfer connectors. Right, the red and purple ones. Perfect? Lao Yu, you're a genius. Their casual chat at the entrance had quickly turned to camaraderie. With DD assigned to remove the generator and Lao Yu tacitly approved to assist, they worked seamlessly. Soon, a second battery was successfully removed. Just then, the elevator opened. Wu Yu strode in cheerfully. DD, how's it going? Need help? Wow, 2 already done. Which one next? His restless fingers tugged at a blue wire. DD panicked and rushed over. Boss, no. Don't touch that. Let go. Never pull that one. Relax, I didn't pull it. Wu Yu released the wire. See? No problem. The elevator doors opened again. Qizhao had arrived. Chapter 247, he's a Capricorn, cold outside, passionate inside. Don't pull out any blue wires. If you do, the remaining energy pillars will short-circuit and be completely destroyed. DD explained. Hearing how severe the consequences could be, Wu Yu quickly raised his hands and took 2 steps back. This simple movement caused his heel to catch on a wire, pulling it backward. When he turned to look, coincidentally enough, it was also blue. At the same time, on the other side of the wall, the terminal plug of this blue wire quietly loosened. Everyone froze for a moment. Not good. Qizhao reacted the fastest, immediately activating his words of power, time-0. Moving at extreme speed, he managed to firmly reinsert the plug before it could completely detach. Wu Yu and DD hadn't even processed what happened. All they saw was a blur before Qizhao appeared 15 meters away. The plug was securely back in place. Teleportation? Lao Yu, however, was already used to Qizhao's incredible speed. Seeing the remaining energy pillars unharmed, DD let out a long sigh of relief. Even his mechanical prosthetics seemed to break out in a cold sweat. Both his arms, along with 8 mechanical limbs, all gave Qizhao thumbs up. Then he turned to Wu Yu. Boss, maybe you should just leave. Your bad luck is terrifying. Wu Yu looked innocent, his brows furrowed in a figure-8 shape. Come on, how is this my fault? But when he saw DD's serious expression, Wu Yu waved his hands. Fine, I'll go. Train master, you should leave too. The 2 of us can handle this. We're almost done, you should go rest. Qizhao nodded. Be careful. Yes, train master. He and Wu Yu took separate elevators back up. Once topside, Qizhao teased Wu Yu, your bad luck really is something else. What's the deal with that? Wu Yu sighed and explained the origin of his misfortune, the after effects from his battle with Donghei Izui. I had no choice, otherwise I couldn't have beaten Donghei Izui. Max level 60, all 12 skills related to lightning and martial arts. She basically perfected those 2 disciplines. And she was Zhang Zuan's prized student. His top disciple, Wu Yu added. I heard Donghei Izui actually confessed to that guy Zhang Zuan once. Got rejected though, ha ha ha. Don't tell anyone, this is top secret info. Qizhao nodded, indicating he'd take this secret to the grave. So is this Zhang Zuan still single now? Not sure. Actually I'm not that close with him. That time he rescued me was literally the first time I'd been on his train. There were a few women on board, but the none seemed particularly close with him. Here, Wu Yu frowned as if recalling something unpleasant. Qi Zhao nodded. From Wu Yu's description, Zhang Zuan didn't seem like the playboy type. But after 10 years, would he even remember the shopkeeper from the beginner village? And how would he react if he saw what the shopkeeper had become? At least there was finally a way to contact him. Just then, Didi came up in the elevator and jogged to open the bunker door. Lin Jianyan had returned. He'd received Wu Yu's message about Jinsh's return and that she'd already escorted people back to June. After Lin Jianyan entered, Wu Yu played mediator for introductions. Old Lin Jianyan. This is the new recruit Yui who brought in, Qi Zhao. Hello. Qi Zhao raised his hand in greeting. Lin Jianyan nodded expressionlessly in response. Wu Yu awkwardly explained, don't mind him, that's just how old Lin is. He cupped his hand by his mouth and whispered, Capricorn, cold outside, passionate inside. He'll talk more once you get to know him. Qi Zhao nodded in understanding. Lin Jianyan remained expressionless but slowly said, I heard that. Wu Yu scratched his head with an embarrassed chuckle. Seeing Didi about to close the bunker door again, Qi Zhao raised his hand, wait, don't close it yet, I need to go out. Out? Why? It's dangerous out there, Wu Yu asked confused. Qi Zhao smiled, I've got intel about this place, the clock tower has good stuff. He wasn't lying, after all, he and Laoli were wearing protective gear. If they knew about this place, they'd realize Qi Zhao's group must know something too. Wu Yu nodded. Right, you're a captain now. You can access most station intel directly without buying intel locks. No wonder Zhang Zuan told me before he left that I should check the clock tower for potential surprises. Hearing this, Qi Zhao became even more certain of his earlier deduction. Zhang Zuan definitely hadn't taken the clock tower key. He didn't say what kind of surprise? No, he only told me about this city's monster traits. Wu Yu counted on his fingers, unobservable, can't gather any info about them through any means. If you learn 2 or more facts about them, they'll hunt you relentlessly. Those monsters are strong, but not unbeatable. The real problem is their numbers. That clock tower, Jinsha and I have been there, Lin Jianyan suddenly spoke up, adjusting his glasses. But we didn't find anything unusual. Though it does chime every day at noon and midnight. When that happens, all the city's monsters gather there. Then, they dance beneath the tower. The numbers are substantial. Hearing this, Wu Yu's eyebrows shot up with an idea, maybe if we kill all those monsters, they'll drop treasure chests. Lin Jianyan. Probably not, Qi Zhao laughed. We'll know when we check. Midnight's still far off anyway. Then how about I go with you? Wu Yu said excitedly. I haven't gone outside since arriving here, they won't let me. I want to see too. With your current bad luck backlash, you should stay put, Qi Zhao gently refused. Ugh. You sound just like Shasha, Wu Yu pouted helplessly. You're all ganging up on me. Then how about old Lin goes with you? His bubble ability is really useful. That's Mist Barrier, Lin Jianyan corrected. Okay, Mist Barrier, Mist Barrier. Wu Yu muttered under his breath. Same difference. After thinking, Qi Zhao nodded. And so Lin Jianyan, who just returned, went back out with Qi Zhao. Didi closed the bunker door again before jogging back to the elevator. He needed to finish dismantling the energy pillars below. Bored, Wu Yu yawned and called after Didi's retreating back, Didi. Call if you need help. Chapter 248, Ritual Dance. The moment Qi Zhao emerged from the underground bunker, he saw a horde of them gathered below. Lin Jianyan immediately conjured a mist barrier, enveloping both of them. This time, he didn't create a single-person barrier but rather a giant bubble. It effortlessly enclosed both Qi Zhao and Lin Jianyan. Not only was the mist barrier light as air, but it also moved in sync with their movements. It completely isolated them from the outside world, blocking the creatures' screeches and foul odors. Far more convenient than the protective gear they wore. Qi Zhao didn't even need to deploy his nanobots as Lin Jianyan effortlessly carried them both through the air. Since Lin Jianyan knew the way, Qi Zhao could relax. Want some chicken? With nothing better to do, Qi Zhao pulled out a clay-roasted chicken with one hand, tearing off a drumstick for Lin Jianyan. Jinsha told me you guys haven't eaten in days. Thanks, I'm not hungry. The others already ate. Jinsha and Wu Yu devoured several whole chickens. After a brief silence, Lin Jianyan accepted the offering. Thank you. Qi Zhao grinned and produced a bottle of water, handing it over. 30 minutes later, they arrived smoothly at the city center. From about 500 meters away, Qi Zhao spotted the black clock tower. Amidst the dense grid of blocky gray skyscrapers, this structure stood out like a sore thumb. It resembled a dazzling black pearl glowing mysteriously in the night. The tower was pitch black as if forged from condensed darkness itself. Its needle-sharp spire stabbed skyward like a colossal sword, radiating intimidating majesty. The slender, gracefully curved tower body resembled a poised dancer's silhouette. Compared to the squat gray buildings surrounding it, the tower towered over them like a crane among chickens. Impossible to miss. As they drew nearer, Chizhao fully appreciated its grandeur. The tower stood at least 180 meters tall and 20 meters wide. Chizhao touched it through the mist barrier, his fingertips registering an unnatural chill. Like touching decades-old ice in a freezer. How bizarre. It's not even room temperature. Besides being freezing cold and unusually sturdy, there's nothing special about this clock tower. Lin Jianyan's team had clearly investigated before but found no other peculiarities. Of course, they'd never approached during its active phases. Too dangerous. Seeing the tower up close, Chizhao realized his initial infiltration plan with Lao Yu would have been impossible. He'd imagined an ordinary clock tower with a large timepiece. But this was a solid, seamless monolith. Its mirror-smooth obsidian surface offered no hiding spots. The surface's slickness combined with the intense cold made climbing unthinkable. Only flight could reach the massive 10-meter diameter clock face located 10 meters below the spire. The clock hands stretched 6, 8, and 10 meters respectively. All extending beyond the face in an eerie display. No normal person could retrieve these gigantic hands from 170 meters up without being noticed by the ritual dancing creatures. They'd immediately be swarmed. 3 minutes until midnight. When the clock chimes, every them in the city will gather below the tower to perform their ritual dance. Chizhao faced a dilemma. Hovering here without cover would make them instant targets for flying creatures. But hiding in nearby buildings would eliminate any chance of approaching during the ritual. The area would become an impenetrable sea of monsters. Brother Lin, can you change the mist barrier's color? Transparency made them sitting ducks. Lin Jianyan shook his head. Can you layer another larger barrier outside? A bubble within a bubble? What's your plan? Intrigued, Lin Jianyan listened as Chizhao explained. He could do it, though maintaining dual barriers required significant focus. My intel says the clock face transforms during their dance. So we must stay hidden while observing. Meaning we need camouflage. Dancing. Transformation. Lin Jianyan pushed his glasses up with 2 fingers. So that's it. How exactly? After hearing Chizhao's scheme, Lin Jianyan raised his hand. Their original 1.5-meter diameter barrier ballooned to 3 meters. A new mist barrier formed around them, creating an empty buffer zone between layers. Chizhao promptly produced smoke grenades from his realm bracelet. Leftovers from Raccoon City. Twin grenades filled the interstitial space with thick white smoke, forming a floating white orb. Inside, their world became a featureless white void. Perfect? This should work. Lin Jianyan's assistance proved invaluable. Without him, this would have been far more troublesome. As their camouflage completed, the clock's hour, minute, and second hands aligned perfectly. Pointing at the Roman numeral 12. Midnight. The clock told. Boom. 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 Like a summoned army, every monster in the city converged on the tower. Land, air, even aquatic creatures came. A tsunami of monstrosities resembling a nightmare parade. Within 3 minutes, the entire city's population surrounded the tower. Just as Chizhao predicted, kilometers of space became a writhing mass of creatures. The flying ones darkened the sky like an eclipse. In terrifying unison, the creatures stood at rigid attention like disciplined soldiers. As the ominous chimes continued, they began their grotesque ritual dance. Every jerky movement was executed with unnatural precision, as if pulled by invisible strings. Their bodies contorted into impossible shapes, limbs moving with supernatural fluidity. The dance radiated bone-chilling horror, synchronized perfectly with the haunting chimes. A symphony of dread. The scene resembled a hellish carnival drenched in sinister energy. Chapter 249, Risky Retrieval of the Second, Minute, and Hour Hands. However, Chizhao and the others couldn't see any of this. Because they were inside the smoke bomb, their vision was blocked, preventing them from seeing the situation outside. But similarly, the monsters outside couldn't see Chizhao's group either. Thus, they weren't targeted by the creatures. After all, what floated there was merely a white balloon. Yet, the clock tower's sound was simply too loud. Even with 2 layers of mist barrier isolating them, Chizhao's group could still hear the bell tolls. The space between wasn't a vacuum, and being so close, the bell sounds seemed to resonate directly in their minds. The moment the bell tolled, Lin Jianyan felt a tightness in his chest. Then blood began seeping from his ears. Previously, both he and Jinshaw had only observed from afar, never having experienced staying right beside the clock tower. Who knew the bell's power would be this terrifying? Chizhao wasn't faring any better either. Blood streamed from his ears and mouth as he barely held on. Hey, you okay? Lin Jianyan nodded, indicating he could endure. But the bell tolls continued relentlessly, and both men's conditions worsened steadily. Following Qi Zhao's initial instructions, Lin Jianyan controlled the balloon, maneuvering it toward the clock's hands. Upon approaching, he opened a gap in the mist barrier, allowing Qi Zhao's hand to extend outward. Contact. Enchanted second hand, an obsidian second hand infused with mystical energy, capable of unlocking Tier 6 treasure chests. It was the outermost second hand. Among the 3 clock hands, the second hand occupied the outermost position. Next came the minute hand, with the innermost being the hour hand. Each hand was spaced half a meter apart. Realm bracelet, store it. Qi Zhao firmly grasped this longest second hand, instantly storing it within the realm bracelet's 100 cubic meter storage space. With the second hand removed, the clock tower reacted like a child whose toy had been snatched away, immediately throwing a tantrum. The original booming bell tolls gained a new accompanying sound. A cry more piercing and shrill than the Ta's shrieks. This wail was unbearably sharp, with terrifying penetrative force. The sound pierced straight through Qi Zhao's temples, drilling into his skull. Instantly, blood streamed from all 7 of Qi Zhao's orifices in a horrifying spectacle. Lin Jianyan fared no better, though he suppressed the metallic taste rising in his throat, forcibly swallowing the blood in his mouth. Even in such extreme circumstances, his expression remained unchanged. "What did you do?" Qi Zhao waved dismissively, then pointed at his ears. He couldn't hear. His ears had gone deaf. Enduring excruciating pain, Qi Zhao stretched his hand further outward. Seeing his condition, Lin Jianyan maneuvered the balloon closer to the clock face. Finally, Qi Zhao touched the middle-positioned minute hand. Enchanted minute hand, an obsidian minute hand infused with mystical energy, capable of unlocking Tier 7 treasure chests. Damn it, take it. With the enchanted minute hand secured, the clock tower's fury reached its peak. It resembled an overworked office worker who'd pulled all-nighters for a month revising drafts dozens of times, only for the client to demand the original version, its rage now fully ignited. Whoom. An invisible shockwave erupted from the clock tower as its epicenter, violently expanding outward. The dual-layered mist barrier constructed by Lin Jianyan shattered like soap bubbles under scorching sunlight with an audible pop. One must understand, his mist barrier wasn't some ordinary bubble. Its resilience could withstand most bullet impacts and average explosions. Yet against the clock tower's sonic assault, it collapsed instantly. The white smoke from the smoke bombs dispersed immediately under the shock wave. Every creature, on the ground, in the sky, along the distant river banks, ceased their dancing. As one, they turned their pupil-less, hollow eyes upward, fixating on Qi Zhao and Lin Jianyan now plummeting from the heights. Ta! The prey-spotting Ta shrieked as they surged toward the duo. Winged Ta beat their membranes, diving at terrifying velocities. Clearly unaffected by the sonic vibrations, they grew even more frenzied, their speed surpassing previous levels. With the mist barrier gone, the 2 men fell rapidly. Lin Jianyan's gaze remained steely despite the assault. Clasping his hands together, a fresh mist barrier materialized around them. Yet this barrier lasted barely 2 seconds before the clock tower's vibrations shattered it again. Another barrier formed, only to be destroyed once more. Lin Jianyan repeated this cycle tirelessly, generating barrier after barrier against the clock tower's assault. Their descent accelerated dangerously, over 10 meters in mere seconds. Qi Zhao stared at the receding clock face and its last remaining hand, the thickest yet shortest hour hand, with absolute determination. The enchanted hour hand. Capable of unlocking Tier 8 treasure chests. I'm getting that today no matter what. 2 kilograms of nanobots surged forth at Qi Zhao's mental command, converging beneath his feet. As another mist barrier shattered, Qi Zhao suddenly ascended. The nanobots propelled him upward at tremendous speed. Biting his tongue hard, Qi Zhao fought to maintain consciousness. Simultaneously, he chugged a basic healing potion. While his injuries lessened somewhat, his mind remained foggy. In the distance, nearly 10,000 Ta swarmed closer, wings beating furiously, now within 100 meters. The nearer to the clock face, the more intense the vibrations grew. The impacts strengthened exponentially. Here, the sonic force had become physically tangible. Qi Zhao felt like he was wading barefoot upstream against raging currents. If he lost focus for even a second, the torrent would sweep him away mercilessly. Faster, push harder. With nanobots at maximum output, Qi Zhao's velocity increased another notch. Despite bleeding from every facial orifice, his eyes burned with unshakable resolve. 10 meters. 5 meters. 3 meters. 1 meter. At last, he reached the clock face again. Qi Zhao slammed his palm onto the sole remaining hour hand. Enchanted hour hand, an obsidian hour hand infused with mystical energy, capable of unlocking Tier 8 treasure chests. Take it. When this final, most crucial hour hand was removed, the clock tower abruptly stilled. Like a toy car deprived of batteries, it ceased functioning. Silence, absolute and profound. A deathly stillness. But Qi Zhao knew, this was merely the calm before the storm. He immediately dove downward, streaking toward the still falling Lin Jianian. With the shockwaves gone, Lin Jianian's newly formed mist barrier finally held, thus arresting his descent. Seeing Qi Zhao approaching, he promptly opened an entrance to admit him. While behind Qi Zhao followed a seething mass of monsters. Run. Chapter 250, When push comes to shove, legs are what matter. Lin Jianian's eardrums had ruptured, rendering him completely deaf to Qi Zhao's shouts. Yet instinct drove him to activate the mist barrier, dragging Qi Zhao into a rapid descent toward the ground. Mist pressure. An invisible force abruptly manifested, propelling the mist barrier to accelerate. Within just 3 breaths, they plunged 150 meters downward. 5 meters above the ground, Lin Jianian manipulated the mist barrier, shifting from vertical descent to horizontal propulsion. They skimmed over the monsters' heads at breakneck speed. Back to the bunker. It's secure there. They can't breach it immediately. Lin Jianian evidently possessed storage equipment, having already consumed a healing potion. His injuries vanished completely, his hearing restored. Qi Zhao seized the moment to gulp down a healing potion as well. Lin Jianian whipped out his communicator, messaging DD, prepare to open the door in 30 minutes. They utilized local network protocols. Messages and calls functioned within limited ranges. Though the sent message now spun endlessly, transmission would succeed once they entered signal range. Their initial journey had taken over half an hour, but at this frantic pace, they'd arrive in under a minute. Yet the clock tower's eerie silence proved fleeting. A pillar of black light erupted skyward like a sinister antenna bridging heaven and earth. Even within the mist barrier, Qi Zhao suddenly heard the monster's cacophony. Raspy growls, guttural rumbles, piercing shrieks, and unsettling murmurs. Worse, his nostrils flooded with musty decay. His tongue registered a nauseating stickiness and metallic tang. His fingertips hallucinated bizarre textures. Slippery feathers, clammy skin, bristling quills. Most horrifyingly, Qi Zhao perceived the creature's thoughts: catch, tear, mince, devour. The clock tower was force-feeding him and Lin Jianian unfiltered awareness of them. They'd unwillingly become observers, cursed with intimate knowledge of these entities. Understanding 2 or more traits about them invited eternal hatred and relentless pursuit. This surpassed their earlier predicament of mere discovery-triggered chasing. Previously, escaping beyond a certain radius sufficed. Now, no escape existed. Worse, the more traits observed, the stronger the monsters grew. The winged pursuers previously lagging behind suddenly sprouted 4 additional pairs of wings, closing the gap instantly. Land-bound monsters thickened their legs, achieving frog-like leaps. River creatures spewed corrosive acid globules that ate through the mist barrier, forcing Lin Jianian into constant repairs. When damage outpaced mending, he had to recreate the barrier entirely. An exhausting mental and physical toll. Recognizing their precarious situation, Qi Zhao barked, ground landing. We go on foot. After only a second's hesitation, Lin Jianian angled their descent. They'd broken through the terrestrial horde, but the aerial monster's enhanced speed made sustained flight untenable. Upon touchdown, Qi Zhao seized Lin Jianian's arm. Verbal command, time 0. The world froze. Every monster became a still frame. Only Qi Zhao moved within this suspended reality. God damn it, when shit hits the fan, nothing beats good old-fashioned legs. Dragging Lin Jianian, Qi Zhao achieved velocities beyond anything mist pressure could produce. As if operating on a separate timeline. Fortunately, most monsters had gathered beneath the clock tower, granting them an unobstructed path. They reached the bunker just as DD swung open its reinforced doors. 5 layers of impregnable security. The creatures didn't disperse but besieged the steel fortress with renewed frenzy. These 2 humans inside? They'd pursue them unto oblivion. Releasing Lin Jianian's arm, Qi Zhao noted his companion's dazed state. Wu Yu gaped. What the hell did you guys do? Rob their nests? Close enough. Qi Zhao grinned, wiping blood from his lips. Finished dismantling? Time to bail. 2 left, Wu Yu said. Would have been done already if DD let me help. DD's expression screamed yeah right as the bunker suddenly lurched. The spherical structure actually rolled from the monster's collective assault. Shit. DD, hurry up. We need to scram. Wu Yu flicked a talisman between his fingers. Blessings of the 3 purities, Tao flows through me. The talisman ignited spontaneously, releasing an indescribable energy that halted the bunker's motion. You dare come knocking on my door? Wu Yu smirked, effortlessly stabilizing their position. Let me out. I'll slaughter them all. Forget it. Too many. Lin Jianian finally recovered, shooting Qi Zhao a loaded glance. This entire catastrophe stemmed from Zhao's actions. The specificity of his intel suggested deliberate targeting. Especially after removing the clock tower's hour hand. That black light had branded them, flooding their minds with awareness of every monster in the city. The sheer numbers were staggering. Eliminating them all with their current manpower? Nearly impossible. Not that they needed to. Just destroy the remaining energy pillars and escape. Zhao remained unshaken. As a newbie, he'd simply board the train. Let the monsters multiply tenfold. They'd still be left gnashing teeth at the departing carriages. The primary objective, the level 8 treasure box key, was already secured. A close call, but successful. The station's intel had been sorely lacking. Critical details like the clock tower's violent reaction to stealing its animated pointer went unmentioned. Low clearance levels, perhaps? Zhao wondered how exhaustive Zhang Zuan's briefings were. Speaking of which, why hadn't that guy claimed these 3 keys himself? Did he consider them beneath notice? Unlikely. Chapter 251, Tier 8 Treasure Chest, Open. Your intel is quite interesting. Lin Jinian's expression remained unchanged as he looked at Zhao, those clock hands. If I'm not mistaken, they're keys. Zhao put on a surprised expression. Brother Lin has sharp eyes. He didn't deny it, but offered no further explanation. Keys? All this time, you just got some keys? Wu Yu looked disappointed upon hearing this. I thought you discovered some earth-shattering secret. The tier must be quite high. At least a level 8 key. From Lin Jinian's perspective, the 3 clock hands Zhao obtained were a set. Only when combined would they form a complete key. Level 8 key? Don't we have the Grail of Greed that can mass-produce them? Hearing Wu Yu's words, Zhao turned his head sharply, looking at him with disbelief. Our organization can mass-produce level 8 keys? Yep. Wu Yu raised his chin proudly, absolutely. Though, the production rate is a bit low. Wu Yu paused, haven't actually made one yet. Zhao. Did Yu reply? Feeling the slight vibration from his bonded ring, Zhao focused his consciousness into it. After reading the contents of the sticky note Yu sent, he retrieved a golden pill the size of a kumquat from the ring. This golden pill was a storage artifact with 3 special compartments. Similar to the storage compartments unlocked in the second stage of his realm bracelet. Holding the golden pill, Zhao willed it, and with a flash of white light, released the most basic model of blue train. The beginner's starter model purchasable for just 50 train coins. The completely bare-bones version. Sister, you said this is the train you wanted. Seeing the train, Wu Yu exclaimed joyfully, ha ha ha, you finally sent us a train. After taking out the train, Zhao followed the sticky note's instructions and returned the golden pill to the bonded ring. Yu quickly retrieved it from her side. Because that golden pill also contained her own Pink Queen model. Wu Yu quickly boarded the train, but hesitated just as he was about to log in. Old Lin, come here. He leaned out and waved at Lin Jinian, log in with your account. Don't want to accidentally take us to another level 10 danger station again. Lin Jinian expressionlessly logged in with his own account. Great. Now we just need to wait for DD to finish up, and we can scram. Outside the underground bunker, the monsters' assault continued unabated. Under their relentless attacks, the bunker's supposedly indestructible steel armor plating was being torn apart, riddled with holes. Soon, the elevator door opened, and DD along with Lao Yu emerged. Boss, all set. The 10 energy pillars had been completely dismantled, individually packaged, and swallowed by Bazi. Bazi swiftly slithered from DD's smooth bald head into Wu Yu's sleeve. Excellent work. Let's retreat. Wu Yu gestured for Zhao to board. Zhao, what are you spacing out for? Get on. Why are you leaning against the wall like that? Tired from running? Wu Yu noticed Zhao had been keeping one hand against the wall this whole time. Your train's still outside, right? Forget about it, I'll get you a new one later. Hurry up, they're about to break in. Zhao shook his head and instead pulled out his own red train. Seeing this, Wu Yu's mouth twitched involuntarily. Fine, as long as you've got transportation. We're leaving then. Oh right, let's pretend we never met. I don't know you're a mole, nor that you're from Order. We're just regular friends who happen to meet. Wu Yu shouted loudly. I understand. You're not my boss, and I don't know Yu. I'm just an arrest officer from Orderly Heaven. Exactly, that's right. As they spoke, the lights above them began extinguishing row by row. The monsters had breached the steel armor in some areas, damaging the wiring. Watching this, Wu Yu yelled, you guys leave too. It'll be too late soon. Got it. Leaving now. Seeing the white flash signaling Wu Yu's departure, Zhao grinned. Leave? Of course he'd leave, just not yet. What a waste to abandon such a massive underground bunker. His hand against the wall had actually been absorbing it this whole time. But the bunker's mass was simply too enormous. Even with absorption speed increased tenfold, it still required significant time. As minutes passed, the attacks outside grew more violent. He voice-activated the train door, letting Lao Yu enter before closing it again. Qizhao remained outside alone, continuing to absorb the massive bunker. Soon, all lights extinguished completely, even the alarm system falling silent. Qizhao could hear the sounds of destruction and monster roars growing louder. They were getting closer. The bunker teetered on the brink of collapse. Yet Qizhao remained completely calm. Because he had the novice disguise. Even if he couldn't finish absorbing the bunker before the monsters broke through, he could always board the train where, protected by the novice disguise, the monsters could only watch helplessly. Finally, just as the monsters breached Qizhao's location, the enormous bunker disappeared with a whoosh. Losing their footing, the monsters began tumbling down en masse. For a moment, it rained monsters like dumplings in boiling water. Similarly, Qizhao and his train began plummeting rapidly with the bunker's disappearance. Anchor point rewind. In the next instant, Qizhao's figure reappeared inside the train's cockpit. He summoned the light screen and clicked depart. Just as the train was about to crash into the ground, a white flash signaled successful departure. In the endless void, Qizhao's train traveled safely and smoothly. He and Lao Yu sat facing each other, with a jade treasure chest placed between them. The very same Tier 8 treasure chest that had been pinned beneath Monkey King's belly. Before opening, a Tier 8 chest's only use was as an indestructible shield. Without hesitation, Qizhao took out the 5-meter-long enchanted hour hand and lightly tapped the chest. An invisible ripple spread out as the hour hand dissolved into starlight. The previously unopenable Tier 8 chest now had its lid slightly ajar. Tier 8 treasure chest, open. Inside lay 500 neatly arranged train coins. Above these coins rested 2 jade plates, one black, one white. The white plate held 3 golden hairs more radiant than the coins. The black plate contained what truly caught Qizhao's attention, a palm-sized, square white module card. Monkey King grade life-saving hairs. These hairs shone with a dazzling golden hue, as if woven from concentrated sunlight. Upon touching one, Qizhao immediately sensed its extraordinary hardness, as though forged from the world's most resilient material. Indeed, they weren't soft at all, incredibly rigid. Though fine as silk strands, they thrummed with immense power. Life-saving hair, embed in the Feng Fu acupoint at the back of your head. Upon receiving fatal damage undying, you'll enter a brief untargetable state. You'll revive within 1 minute at most, with all stats restored to peak condition. Holy shit! This isn't just life-saving, this is an entire extra life. And there are 3 hairs. 3 extra lives. 3 lives, imagine the possibilities. Not just revival, but full restoration to peak condition. Picture your enemy exhausting every effort to barely defeat you, only for you to stand up 3 seconds later at full health, laughing. How's that fair? Now this is what I call a Tier 8 treasure. Qizhao finally understood why Tier 8 chests never circulated on the market, being strictly controlled by higher authorities. Forget that each chest contained 500 drain coins. The real value lay in items like these life-saving hairs, absolutely game-breaking. But it mentioned embedding in the Feng Fu acupoint. Where's that? Back of the head? Qizhao reached behind his head but couldn't locate any specific point. This probably requires professional knowledge. But being a Tier 8 item, it should be user-friendly, right? Thinking this, Qizhao took one hair and began feeling around his scalp. Sure enough, when he brushed near the base of his skull where neck meets head, the hair transformed into golden light and merged into his body. Qizhao's eyes widened as he felt the hair's warmth spreading through him. Activation successful. Lao Yu, turn around. Huh? Though confused, Lao Yu complied. Qizhao embedded the second hair into Lao Yu. Even though the 6th novice period hadn't ended, with Aurora Island's status as a looping station still uncertain and Lao Yu potentially disappearing anytime, Qizhao did it anyway. He stored the 3rd hair in his realm bracelet. Then he turned to the most important item, the module card. Qizhao summoned the light screen and brought the white card close. Special module card detected. Activate? Yes or no? Alright, let's see what special module this is. Special module activated, multiple choice, after departure, provides multiple platform options to choose from. Chapter 252, the 4th special module, multiple choice. The moment activation completed, the screen flashed again. Multiple choice upgraded, available platforms increased from 3 to 5, free modification, you can cancel and change your desired platform anytime before the train arrives. Because Qizhao was level 31, the newly activated multiple choice immediately unlocked its first enhancement. Not only did the number of randomly refreshed available platforms increase, but a new function was also unlocked. Zhao was stunned. Holy shit, it's actually this module? Isn't this the perfect match for my station preview? What kind of lucky day is this? Is it New Year already? Truthfully, what Zhao wanted most were station traveling, renovation maniac, or mission guaranteed. Modules like arrival rewards and mission guaranteed were early stage modules, useful even at low levels. Modules like station traveling and renovation maniac that consumed many train coins were late stage modules. If he had to rank these 12 special modules, leaving aside those with unknown functions, just based on what was currently known, station preview was absolutely tier 0. Whether in the beginner's village or the new world, it was extremely overpowered because it had no usage threshold and was useful at any stage. In Zhao's view, multiple choice also belonged to the late stage type of module. Others could only randomly stop at stations each time, completely at the mercy of luck. But with multiple choice, even without station preview, one could filter out the most suitable stations to visit for maximum benefits by purchasing orders, intelligence locks, or through other means. As the saying goes, more choices mean more paths. Others' paths were singular and fixed, but your path would be chosen by your own hands. This module didn't seem strong by itself, but when combined with station preview and his level 2 treasure hunter, it wasn't simply 1 + 1 + 1 = 3 anymore. Zhao immediately opened multiple choice, and 6 platform names popped up on the screen: Golden Garden, Scheduled Stop, Misty Forest, Eternal Ice Plains, Hive Laboratory, Seaside City, Ghost Town. Golden Garden was the station Zhao's train was originally scheduled to stop at after departure. Multiple choice provided 5 additional options below it. Zhao randomly clicked one. Changed next stop to Misty Forest. After making the change, Zhao switched back to the station preview module. The detailed information originally displayed for Golden Garden had now changed to Misty Forest. Misty Forest, multiplayer station. 4 other trains will stop here. After entering the forest, follow a winding path. At forks in the road, choose the correct direction based on signposts. If no signpost is present, wait 30 minutes for one to appear automatically. While walking through the forest, watch or step carefully to avoid sinking into mud. The forest is filled with thick fog with extremely low visibility, and strange sounds echo throughout. Remain vigilant and do not approach any unidentified objects. Danger level 6. In the depths of the forest, there is a hidden cave in an ancient tree. Entering the cave yields a level 6 treasure chest containing 60 train coins, 1 basic healing potion, 1 basic antidote, 1 basic sanity potion, 1 basic berserk potion, 1 basic speed potion, 1 basic wisdom potion. Perfect, no issues. Changing the destination station automatically updated station preview. No unexpected bugs appeared. But this was also thanks to Zhao being level 31. Without multiple choices enhancement unlocking free modification, this operation wouldn't have been possible. After reviewing, Zhao switched back to multiple choice, cancelled his previous selection, and chose another platform. Current stop, Eternal Ice Plains, Solo Station. The ice plains are extremely cold with frequent mirages. Do not chase any seemingly real targets. If lost, look for red flags on the plains. Danger level 6. A level 4 treasure chest can be found in an ice cave in the depths of the plains. Contains 24 train coins, 1 frost blade. After checking, Zhao repeated the process. Just by switching back and forth like this, he quickly learned all the information about these 5 available platforms. Among these 5 stations, 3 offered obtainable treasure chests: Misty Forest, Eternal Ice Plains, and Ghost Town. Stations without treasure chests or significant danger were immediately dismissed. No danger meant little growth in travel qualifications. For stations that were too dangerous, Zhao would comprehensively consider whether his current skills and items could handle them. If not, going would be pointless. With 5 options and station preview, Zhao could always choose the optimal solution. Decision made, Ghost Town it is. Current stop, Ghost Town, Solo Station. Some houses in town have slightly ajar doors that can be entered for exploration. However, you must leave within 15 minutes of entering, or you'll be trapped inside. Each house can only be entered once. Many ghosts wander the town. Defeating ghosts has a chance to drop train coins. Danger level 7. In the abandoned church at the town's end is a hidden room containing a level 6 treasure chest with 60 train coins, 1 spirit warding talisman. Nodding silently as he read Ghost Town's details on the screen, Zhao noted it had a treasure chest, danger level 7, and was easily manageable. His ZZ pistol spirit banishing bullets and Lao Yu's 3 pure guns were perfectly suited for this station. This strip would provide treasure chests, train coins, and travel qualifications, the perfect choice. This special module would greatly accelerate his leveling speed. Not only could Zhao choose the most suitable stations, But he also indirectly obtained information about 4 other platforms. What did this mean? Intelligence had always been an extremely valuable commodity. Exploring blindly without intelligence was thankless labor. Nowadays, most people were accustomed to purchasing intelligence locks after arriving at stations to gain some information before exploring. However, the intelligence business was almost exclusively controlled by Orderly Heaven. As an individual, Chizhao not only had limited station intelligence but also lacked good channels to sell even if he wanted to. But he could completely exchange some unimportant information for merit rewards. After all, each of his stops was equivalent to 6 stops for others. And he didn't even need to explore, Station Preview told him directly. Chizhao nodded, quite satisfied. Moreover, after leaving Ta City, his travel qualifications had grown to 89%. After this station, he might reach level 32. What incredible speed! Chapter 253, Exchanging Merit for Skill Cards. Next, he pulled out a small red wooden box and a 10-meter-long black pointer from the realm bracelet. The box was exquisitely crafted. It was the Tier 6 treasure chest Chizhao had looted from the black-clad man's storage device back in Zune. Although he'd spent 4 more days in Zune afterward, he'd been too busy each day to buy a key and open it. Now, having obtained a Tier 6 key, he'd saved himself the expense. The 10-meter-long enchanted second hand touched the wooden box. Just like before, the pointer dissolved into starlight, and the chest slid open. After collecting the 60 train coins inside, Chizhao found a copper token remaining at the bottom. He reached in and picked it up. Earth Spirit Copper Token, seems to be missing 2 others, TCH. What's this? A set item. Only usable when complete? Chizhao sighed and stored it in the realm bracelet. He still had a Tier 7 treasure chest key, but no Tier 7 chests on hand. Tier 7 chests were already scarce on the market, and their prices had skyrocketed compared to Tier 6 ones, fluctuating around 800 train coins. As for Tier 8 chests, they simply didn't circulate in the market. I'll give Zai 800 train coins later and have her find one for me. I don't have time to monitor the trading platform all day, Chizhao thought as he sent a message to Li Huizi. The train he'd left for Zai was logged into Huizi's account, which was still connected to Chizhao's train. After transferring 810 train coins to Zai, Chizhao closed the light screen. With all items removed, the chest was now empty. After a moment's consideration, he took out Lust and lightly scratched the bottom of the chest with it. A white mark appeared, confirming the protective rules that had been imbued in the chest were now gone. Shaking his head, Chizhao stored the chest in the realm bracelet. After all, it was a Tier 8 jade chest. Even though opened, it couldn't be casually discarded like wooden or iron chests. With the Tier 8 chest opened and no need to exchange for a Tier 8 key, Chizhao suddenly found himself with abundant merit points. 1,700 to be exact. Some skill cards only cost 500 points. Skill cards almost never circulated on the market due to their scarcity and universal demand. Take Chizhao himself. Now at level 31, yet he'd only acquired 2 permanent skills through skill cards, Dilly Clothing and Flame Breathing. He immediately began browsing the exchangeable skill cards. He could still learn 4 more skills but had struggled to obtain new skill cards. Before use, skill cards only displayed their skill names when near a screen, without revealing specifics. It was like reading comprehension. If you guessed right and the skill matched your needs, you hit the jackpot. Guess wrong, and you were out of luck. Chizhao didn't have this concern now since he had 4 empty skill slots. He didn't need to abandon an existing skill to use a new card. Still, he couldn't choose carelessly. Skill names did offer some clues about their contents, so he carefully screened his options. Despite Orderly Heaven being such a large organization, skill cards could only be obtained with merit points. And they were in short supply. Only 5 were currently available for exchange. No wonder Chizhao hadn't managed to buy a single skill card in over a month since arriving in the new world. Many people saved up merit points precisely for this purpose, so new skill cards were quickly snapped up whenever they became available. Chizhao rubbed his chin as he examined the list: Bottle of Juice, Insight into Fate, Want an Ice Pop, Knight's Emissary, Frost Assault. Some names clearly hinted at their skills, while others were baffling. Frost Assault probably summoned an icy attack. Straightforward enough at 500 merit points. Insight into Fate seemed like a divination or prophecy skill. These mystical types cost more at 1,600 points. Knight's Emissary was mid-range at 1,000 points. As for the other 2, Bottle of Juice and Want an Ice Pop, Chizhao couldn't begin to guess what they did, and neither could anyone else, hence their 800-point price tag. It was a gamble. What if they turned out to be amazing skills? Damn. My 1,700 points don't seem so generous now, Chizhao muttered. At most, he could get Insight into Fate, or Knight's Emissary plus Frost Assault. His current abilities lean toward assassination and close combat. Frost Assault might supplement his ranged attacks, while Knight's Emissary seemed stealth or magic-oriented. Alright, these two then. Just as Qizhao made his decision, a notification arrived. Skill card. Knight's Emissary has been claimed by another. Fuck, these really go fast. Now only the most expensive Insight into Fate, the two incomprehensible skills, and Frost Assault remained. This time Qizhao didn't hesitate long. He immediately chose to exchange for Insight into Fate. Go big or go home. Soon, Qizhao received a black skill card adorned with an eye pattern. Detected skill card. Insight into Fate. Activate. Yes or no. Qizhao selected yes, and the black card transformed into a streak of light that flowed into his body. You have learned the skill, Insight into Fate. You can observe all things within a radius centered on yourself and choose to teleport to any location within your observable range. The stronger your mental power, the greater the range you can perceive. Teleportation cooldown, 12 hours. Qizhao was stunned. This wasn't a divination or precognition skill. Upon activation, it felt like turning on full map vision in a game. He could directly see the food on the table in the next carriage and hear Lao Yu humming Calabash Brothers while hanging laundry. Beyond the train stretched endless void. Dark, cold, and utterly silent. Qizhao experimented with expanding his perception range. 30 meters, 50, 100, 500. He saw a blue train passing overhead, then a black one materializing out of nowhere. The void was far more active than he'd imagined. But as his range grew, so did the pounding in his head. Veins bulged on his forehead until, at the 980 meters, he clenched his fists so hard his nails drew blood. Just a bit more. Reach 1000 meters. Under his mental strain, the range slowly expanded. At 999 meters, Qizhao saw a pair of pale eyes. In the infinite void, those eyes stood out starkly. Their owner seemed to notice Qizhao too, slowly turning their gaze toward him. The next instant, the pressure became unbearable. Qizhao's knees slammed onto the train floor as blood trickled from the corners of his eyes. Chapter 254, Void. Damn it, my eyes hurt so much. Qizhao had already deactivated Insight of Fate and was keeping his eyes shut. Yet he could still see those eyes. A pair of eyes? Larger than fists, without pupils? Those white eyes were branded into Qizhao's mind like searing iron. Pop. The next instant, both his eyeballs exploded. Splattered apart. Fuck. Pain. Unbearable pain. Qizhao suppressed his scream. He immediately retrieved an intermediate healing potion from the realm bracelet. Blindly fumbling, he uncorked the bottle and chugged it down. As the potion took effect, his exploded eyeballs began regenerating. A cooling sensation faded, restoring his eyes completely. Slowly opening them to confirm his vision had returned, Qizhao involuntarily gulped. After his eyes exploded once, those white eyes finally disappeared. Holy shit. What the hell was that? One glance cost me 20 train coins. Damn. Qizhao shuddered with lingering fear, sitting against the carriage wall while gasping for air. His back was drenched in sweat. After regaining his breath, Qizhao gradually stood up. Heart still pounding, he approached the window to peer outside. The void remained as dark and profound as always. But now Qizhao understood, this seemingly calm void was far more dangerous than imagined. Even novice disguise couldn't protect me. Just one careless peek cost me both eyeballs. Guess I shouldn't randomly use Insight of Fate to observe outside during train rides. Might see something I shouldn't again. Like that terrifying thing earlier. From our eye contact until now, my train hasn't been attacked. Did it choose not to pursue me? Or fail to catch up? Or maybe novice disguise blocked it without me knowing? So what exactly was that thing? Human? Impossible. Nothing human could exist in the void. And those definitely weren't human eyes. Monster? How powerful must a monster be to make my eyes explode through the train, through the void, across a kilometer? Or perhaps something indescribable? Never heard anyone mention such things in the void. Need to research Orderly Heaven's archives when I return. Too bad my account requires facial recognition, fingerprint, and password. Otherwise I'd have Zycheck using my sea-level clearance back in Zune. We'll have to wait until next Zune visit. If not for those eyes, my current maximum observation range would be about 1 kilometer. Also my teleportation limit. Thinking of teleportation, Qizhao activated Insight of Fate again. This time deliberately limiting observation to 10 meters. With a thought, Qizhao vanished and reappeared behind Lao Yu. Instant teleportation works fine. No preparation needed. Not bad for 1,600 merit points. In close quarters combat or obstructed areas, this gives me X-ray vision. Could combine with verbal command, time 0 for rapid approach and assassination. or directly teleport behind enemies. This skill perfectly complements my fighting style. Qi Zhao nodded approvingly. Lao Yu jumped at Qi Zhao's sudden appearance. Boss, what happened to your eyes? He noticed blood and gelatinous residue around Qi Zhao's eye sockets. Ah, nothing. Qi Zhao casually wiped his face. Eye strain. He turned to wash off blood and tissue remnants at the sink. After cleaning up, Qi Zhao examined his brand new eyes in the mirror. No redness or cloudiness. Perfect condition, fresh from the factory. Drying his face, Qi Zhao warned Lao Yu, don't stare out the windows during rides. Why, boss? Lao Yu clipped the last pair of socks onto the circular drying rack before hanging it up. Might see things kids shouldn't. Could hurt your eyes. Oh. Okay, boss, got it. I won't look outside during rides. Lao Yu didn't ask for details, always obedient to Qi Zhao's words. Qi Zhao nodded, then pointed at a pair of white thigh-high socks on the rack. Where'd these come from? Too long to be yours. Found them in Sister Ai's room. Thought I'd wash them so they're ready when she returns. Qi Zhao. So you washed her socks with ours? Yeah. Didn't you say socks together, clothes together, no mixing? I didn't mix them. Qi Zhao sighed and patted Lao Yu's head. Wash them separately next time. Prevents foot fungus. Lao Yu looked confused. Foot fungus? Who has it? Hypothetically speaking, just in case. Next day at 7:50, Qi Zhao's train arrived at Ghost Town. Despite the train displaying 7:50 a.m., the town remained pitch black. Practically night time. Having visited numerous stations, Qi Zhao wasn't surprised anymore. Initially he assumed station times matched train time. But he'd learned 7:50 only reflected the train's internal clock. Each world determined its own time and conditions. This station probably never sees daylight. Thick darkness enveloped the town like congealed asphalt. The only visible light came from will-o-wisps floating above crooked rooftops. Interesting. Lao Yu carried an Everlight lantern while Qi Zhao stored the train in the Realm Bracelet. With a lantern illuminating their path, they entered the town. The Victorian-style row houses appeared ravaged, as if clawed by giants. Vein-like vines crawled over gray walls. Yellowed teeth bones embedded between cobblestones crunched underfoot. Most doors remained shut, with only a few slightly ajar. Those were explorable. But exploration time couldn't exceed 15 minutes per building, with no re-entry. Qi Zhao memorized the rules. Their primary target remained the church's level 6 treasure chest. Could explore more after securing it. Through experimentation, Qi Zhao found maintaining insight of fate within 30 meters was mentally sustainable. At this range, mental energy consumption and recovery balanced out. Effectively a passive mode. Beyond 30 meters became draining. As Kong Yu said, use it or lose it. Practice makes perfect. Aim to expand passive mode to 100 meters. With insight of fate active, all blind spots disappeared. Like the pale ghost slowly approaching from their right. Chapter 255, Ghost Town. This ghost appeared almost indistinguishable from a living person. He wore 1897 style clothing with a noose coiled around his neck. Clearly the spirit of someone who'd been hanged. Qi Zhao raised his ZZ pistol and fired several spirit-banishing rounds to his right without even turning his head. White light flashed, piercing straight through it. The ghost dissipated with tearful regret before it could even get close. Qi Zhao holstered his weapon, lips curling into a smirk. Know what full vision coverage means, bro? Too bad this ghost didn't drop any train coins. Thanks to Qi Zhao's foresight ability, they progressed cautiously toward the town center without major incidents. Solitary ghosts were promptly eliminated. Groups or particularly menacing ones were tactfully avoided. Finally, they spotted the church housing the treasure chest. Its spire seemed sharp enough to pierce the eternal night. The rusted cross had been twisted like pretzel dough by vines, while the stained glass depicted wailing human faces instead of saints. As they approached, teeth embedded between the bricks suddenly began chanting a requiem. This gave Lao Yu quite the fright. He'd been sticking to Qi Zhao like glue since entering. Zombies didn't scare him, but these supernatural oddities unsettled him. Qi Zhao summoned their train before the church. Lao Yu, wait for me inside. I'll retrieve something and be right back. Lao Yu obediently boarded. The train's warm lights provided comforting reassurance. Chief, take this. Qi Zhao accepted the ever-bright lantern from Lao Yu and gently pushed open the church doors. The station announcement had warned that any building exploration must conclude within 15 minutes. This church undoubtedly followed the same rule. Hidden rooms were key to finding treasure chests. Unfortunately, the announcement hadn't specified locations. But then again, foresight. Activating the skill expanded Qi Zhao's perception. Despite the absolute darkness, he could still see the interior clearly. An inverted crucifix hung embedded above the doorway. Black-red substances oozed endlessly from its nails like an unhealing wound. Stone pathways to the nave had long been overrun by frenzied thorns. Dried crow corpses dangled from violet vines. The dome that should have depicted divine revelation now resembled a gnawed skull. Desolate. Decayed. Profane. Chi continued expanding foresight's range. This church ran deep. At 80 meters, he detected a hidden chamber. Found it. A basement beneath the pulpit. That must be the hidden room. But where was the chest? The basement only contained a rotting wooden desk with several coverless books. The desk's oil lamp had been extinguished for who knows how long. Everything lay buried under thick dust. Whatever. Seeing is believing. Wait here. I'll be right back. As Laoyu nodded obediently, Chi teleported directly into the basement. Fortunately, teleportation didn't drain mental energy. Only observation did. Otherwise, he'd never risk warping behind enemies mid-combat. Imagine teleporting only to collapse from mental exhaustion. That'd be suicide. Waving away dust with one hand and covering his nose with the other, Chi advanced with the ever-bright lantern to locate a level 6 chest. Upon touching the third book on the desk, mental feedback confirmed his find. Got it. The level 6 chest. After storing the book-shaped chest in his realm bracelet, Chi ascended the wooden ladder. Pushing aside the overhead panel, he emerged from the basement. The so-called hidden room. Returning to the train after exiting the church, he was greeted enthusiastically, "Chief. You're back already." Naturally. We operate by one principle. Efficiency. With the chest secured, it was hunting time. This wasn't just for train coins, but also travel qualifications. And those newbie rewards distributed every 90 days for pretending to be beginners. Not a single ghost in this town would escape. Chi reloaded his ZZ pistol with train coins before addressing Laoyu. "Laoyu, you know what those things we saw earlier actually are? Zombies. Ghost zombies. A special type requiring specific weapons. That gun I gave you last time? Perfect for these." At the word zombies, Laoyu's eyes lit up. "So they're zombies. Chief, are we fighting zombies together?" "Damn right we are." Beaming with excitement, Laoyu brandished his 3 pure guns while practically bouncing in place. His fondest dream at the Infinite train station had been fighting back-to-back with Chi against zombies. Well, regular zombies in the dream. Ghost zombies now. Who cared about the type? Fighting alongside the chief was all that mattered. "Here. Get your gun powered up. Time to work." Laoyu shook his head vigorously at the handful of train coins Chi offered. "Chief, I can't. Still haven't used up last time's supply. Take them. Gonna need your firepower later." "Aye, Chief." Laoyu carefully stored the 50 train coins in his golden gourd. After final equipment checks, they strode confidently from the train. Immediately, a noblewoman's ghost floated toward them, trailed by 4 hanged spirits. Chi pointed, "Laoyu, these are your warm-up targets." "Roger." Laoyu aimed his 3 pure guns at the aristocratic ghost. The specter burst into exaggerated laughter upon seeing this. "Oh. Guns? Foolish child, thinking guns could harm us? How precious." Her translucent fan fluttered before her bowl-sized face. The hanged ghosts behind her similarly convulsed with laughter. Chapter 256, Let's Call It Spiritless Town. Though Chi held what appeared to be an ordinary pistol, the bullets were anything but ordinary. They were spirit-banishing rounds capable of harming spiritual entities. Each bullet cost 5 energy points and had piercing capabilities. Laoyu clutched a yellow submachine gun adorned with red symbols along its barrel, the 3 pure guns. The 3 purifications referred to purging people, clearing areas, and exhausting ammunition. This weapon also used train coins for energy, and its bullets were even more effective against ghostly creatures and soul-based entities. Both their weapons could inflict damage on the spirits haunting this town, precisely why Chi had chosen this stop. "Laoyu. Remember the mantra I taught you? Reporting, conductor." "I remember. 2 to the chest, 1 to the head, even the king of hell shakes his head." "Exactly. Let's do this." As Chi pointed forward, yellow sparks erupted from the barrel of Laoyu's 3 pure guns. TZZZT. 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 The 3 pure guns fired with surprisingly quiet reports. 3 shots later, the aristocratic spirit woman remained unharmed. "Ha ha ha ha, look at them. They actually think they can exorcise us. How utterly ridiculous. Normal weapons can't possibly touch us. What idiots." The 4 hanged spirits behind her chimed in, Yes, let's hang them too later. Make them Madame Nita's pet dogs." Madame Nita laughed uproariously at these suggestions. "Oh. Shut the hell up, you big-faced bitch." Chi roared, thrusting an accusing finger at the aristocratic spirit. Keep laughing and I'll collect you right now. A visible flush of anger appeared on the aristocratic spirit Sashin face. You little brat. Who are you calling big-faced? Hang them. Hang them both. Madame Nita shrieked, fanning herself furiously. Start with that pretty boy first. The four hanged spirits immediately lunged toward Qizhao and Lao Yu. How dare you insult our beautiful Madame Nita? You're done for, kid. Today you'll experience the pleasure of suffocation. Pay for your insolence. They grabbed the nooses around their necks, whirling them menacingly with cruel laughter. Ignoring them, Qizhao turned to Lao Yu. What's going on? Did you miss? Lao Yu looked flustered. Reporting, conductor. This gun is... It's what? It's a bit... hard to control. Hard to control? Let me try. Qizhao took the 3 pure guns from Lao Yu. TZZZT. 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 Nothing happened. The lead hanged spirit remained completely unaffected. Qizhao frowned. Damn, the recoil pulls left. Adjusting his aim, Qizhao unleashed another volley. TZZZT 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 TZZZT. Yellow muzzle flashes erupted as a dozen holes suddenly appeared in the lead hanged spirit's body, clear bullet wounds. The 3 pure guns could hurt them, Lao Yu had simply missed entirely. The shot spirit looked horrified, but before it could scream, another burst struck it. With a pop, it exploded into glowing particles and vanished, leaving a single train coin clinking on the ground. This gun's been modified, Qizhao said, tossing it back to Lao Yu. Just make do for now. It's a submachine gun anyway, don't bother with single shots, just spray like I did. Besides, they drop train coins when killed, so don't worry about wasting ammo. The remaining 3 hanged spirits. Impossible. How did lords die? Damn it. What kind of gun is that? It can actually hurt us. Not good, these 2 aren't pushovers. Run. We can't. Madame Nita's watching. If we flee, we'll suffer for it later. Charge. Keep charging. We outnumber them, strangle them quickly. Just then, the rearmost hanged spirit shouted, charge my ass. Madame Nita already fucking ran. Indeed, Madame Nita had started waddling away the moment lords got shot, her enormous backside swaying wildly. Shit. We picked the wrong fight. You little bitches better hold them off. This lady's outta here. Where do you think you're going? Qizhao raised his ZZ pistol, taking aim at the fleeing Madame Nita. 3 white flashes, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Madame Nita exploded into a single train coin. Meanwhile, Lao Yu eliminated the remaining 3 hanged spirits with the left pulling 3 pure guns, yielding another train coin. 5 spirits, 3 train coins. After dealing with these spirits, Qizhao and Lao Yu advanced deeper into town. They already scouted spirit activity along their route, now they just needed to fight their way through. Soon they encountered their second ghost. This one was clearly more powerful than the rope-necked hanged spirits. It remained frozen in its hanging moment, a bloated, bluish face tilted at 45 degrees, its neck encircled by rusty execution chains instead of rope, with fragments of a broken gallows dangling from the ends. Its eye sockets lacked eyeballs, instead containing 2 swirling spheres of ghostly green phosphorus fire that spun faster as killing intent intensified. Upon spotting Qizhao and Lao Yu, the phosphorus flames in its eyes swelled to basketball size before launching toward them. Qizhao reacted instantly, yanking Lao Yu's collar to dodge right as the green fireball whizzed past. Conductor, this one's a ranged attacker. The phosphorus explosion attracted more spirits from the darkness. Dozens of rotating green flames appeared, surrounding Qizhao and Lao Yu, at least 30 of them. Simultaneously, basketball-sized fireballs formed in their eye sockets before hurtling toward the encircled duo. But Qizhao had anticipated this. Activating his words of power, zero time, he and Lao Yu broke through the encirclement in half a breath, vanishing from their original position. The fireballs collided midair, erupting into sheets of sickly green flame that brightened the area by 30%, though the light brought no warmth, only dropping temperatures further. Now behind the spirit attackers, Qizhao and Lao Yu opened fire. Using Qizhao's fate insight and zero time, they dodged and weaved effortlessly, always appearing behind the spirits to deliver precise shots. Soon, all 30-plus phosphorus spirits were eliminated without Qizhao or Lao Yu suffering a single scratch. Nanobots swirled around them, collecting the 19 train coins dropped by these spirits, an excellent drop rate. Qizhao nodded in satisfaction. After this battle, Ghost Town deserved a new name. Let's call it Spiritless Town. Chapter 257, Town Administrator, the Lantern Night Watcher, a ghost wrapped entirely in white bandages, with only one eye exposed, came running while screaming, "Run! There are 2 maniacs at the church. They kill everything they see. Everyone, run! Humans? Where are the humans? Suddenly, another ghost blocked his path. I want to kill too. I love killing humans. This ghost wore a crude sackcloth hood. It completely concealed his face, revealing only a pair of eerie glowing eyes. In his hands was a gleaming chainsaw. The bandaged ghost flicked his wrappings. Wrong. They kill ghosts on sight. ZZZT. 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 A series of sparks lit up the darkness as several small holes appeared in the bandaged ghost's body. His bandages writhed to plug the wounds. Bandaged zombie, where do you think you're going? Lao Yu's voice rang through the darkness. He had fully mastered the left-pulling recoil of the 3 pure guns and switched to precise firing mode. Lao Yu was always frugal. Even in games, he hoarded all weapons, ammo, and recovery items. Often when completing a game, he'd still have piles of unused supplies. The chainsaw ghost grew excited upon seeing Lao Yu. Humans. Ha ha ha, real humans. Pulling the starter cord, his chainsaw roared to life. No. You can't beat them. Go find the Lantern Night Watcher. The bandaged ghost urgently tried to stop him. There's an even stronger one behind him. Don't go. Ignoring the warning, the chainsaw ghost charged at Lao Yu, weapon raised high. Those who won't listen will suffer. Seeing persuasion failed, the bandaged ghost fled. He needed to find the Night Watcher quickly, only he could stop these 2 death gods. In the darkness, Chizhao frowned at the approaching chainsaw ghost. So there really are stronger ghosts. This chainsaw ghost's most notable feature was walking on the ground. Unlike other ghosts who floated midair. Moreover, Chizhao could feel vibrations with each of its steps. Physical form? Can this still be called a ghost? Regardless, Chizhao and Lao Yu opened fire. The chainsaw ghost wildly swung its weapon, deflecting bullets. Incredible speed. It actually blocked the bullets. Was that chainsaw physical? Even the ray-type spirit banishing rounds couldn't penetrate? Seeing the situation turn unfavorable, Chizhao immediately drew lust. Words of power, 0 time. Lust struck the chainsaw. Under ultra-high frequency vibrations, the saw teeth shattered upon contact. Definitely physical. Chizhao slashed repeatedly until completely destroying the chainsaw head. Without its weapon, it was just an oversized ghost. It quickly dissipated into starlight under their concentrated fire. Ha! Chizhao exhaled deeply. Using words of power, 0 time alone was manageable. But activating lust simultaneously drained stamina exponentially. Commander, this fatty dropped 8 coins. Lao Yu reported excitedly. Elite enemy. Expected. Suddenly, Chizhao sharply turned. A figure slowly emerged from the darkness. Dressed in black leather with a half-meter-tall top hat. A bronze plague doctor mask covered his face, while the brass oil lamp in his hand emitted blood-red light. That's him. Sir, they're the ones. The bandaged ghost floated behind the Lantern Night Watcher, accusing, we did nothing. They kill ghosts indiscriminately. Smode, Kyle, Chris, all dead. Lord Night Watcher, you must uphold justice for us. Commander, it's the boss. Lao Yu pointed excitedly at the lantern bearer. Looks like we're near the end. Stay alert. This might only be the first phase. Understood, Commander. The Night Watcher addressed Chizhao. Enough, outsider. Leave now. Go no further. His voice made Chizhao pause. Instead of the expected rasp or sharpness, it was surprisingly gentle, completely mismatching his appearance. Reason? Chizhao stepped back as he spoke. The Night Watcher hesitated before responding. You've killed enough. Be satisfied. He's not a ghost. That bandaged spirit called him Lord Night Watcher? The town administrator? The station announcement never mentioned killing too many ghosts would trigger this. Is it because my level's insufficient? He looks impressive. Wonder how many train coins he'd drop. And if I say I'm not satisfied? Continue, and I will intervene. The Night Watcher's tone remained calm, betraying no emotion. Chizhao nodded, smiling. You'd really let us leave that easily? Hard to believe. If you depart now, I guarantee no further attacks. Chizhao chuckled. Fine. But what if you break your word? Only humans lie. With a light laugh, Chizhao shrugged. Can't agree there. Besides, how do I know these ghosts will obey you? Here's a deal, let my subordinate return first. You claim you can ensure our safety? Prove it now. After a pause, the Night Watcher responded, agreed. His lantern's blood-red glow shifted to ghostly blue. Done. Chizhao patted Lao Yu's head. Lao Yu, return to the train. He gave the ever-bright nightlight carried by nanobugs to Lao Yu. Listen, I'll follow once you're back. Message me via communicator when you arrive. Chizhao's train was about 3 kilometers away. Beyond his fate discernment's range now. He couldn't gauge this opponent's depth. If fighting erupted and the enemy had rule-based abilities, they'd be at severe disadvantage. He could escape using Anchor Point Rewind. But Lao Yu would be doomed. Better safe than sorry. Once Lao Yu reached the train's safety under the guise of being a newbie, the danger would pass. Understood, Commander. Return quickly. Clutching the nightlight, Lao Yu retreated as instructed. Damn it. You've slaughtered everyone over there. Who's left to attack you? Correction, every ghost. The bandaged ghost couldn't help shouting. But seeing the Night Watcher's silence, he wisely shut up. Thus, Qizhao and the Night Watcher stood facing each other across 30 meters. 3 minutes later, Qizhao's communicator beeped. Lao Yu had arrived safely. Qizhao relaxed. The Night Watcher spoke again, "You may leave now." Putting away his communicator, Qizhao grinned at the Night Watcher, "But this town's quite interesting. What if I don't want to leave?" The lantern's flame suddenly flared violently at his words. Chapter 258, Battle Against the Night Watchman. What's a mere level 7 danger? Don't you know fortune favors the bold? Qizhao's confidence stemmed from the station's danger level warning. Not to mention his multiple safeguards, Anchor Point Rewind, pretending to be a rookie, even the life-saving hair. Even if he couldn't win, he had to try first before knowing. You think I'll leave just because you told me to? Who do you think you are? Today I'm definitely going to exchange a few moves with this guy and test his limits. The treasure chest I just obtained could yield a spirit warding talisman. If Lao Yu succeeds on his end, with some luck, I'll use this talisman today. Banishing spirits and corpses should work the same way. Of course I'd choose the most badass spirit to control. Hearing Qizhao's words, the Night Watchman's voice revealed traces of anger. Humans and their broken promises. Since you don't want to leave, none of you will. Qizhao smiled widely while waving his hands. Just kidding, just kidding. I'm leaving right now. By the way, are you a ghost too? The Night Watchman remained silent, but the bandaged ghost behind him spoke first. Of course. Lord Night Watchman is the strongest ghost in our town. His lordship is sparing you, so scram already. A ghost. Perfect. Let's see if he's worthy of being controlled by me. Qizhao's lips curled as he suddenly drew his ZZ pistol and fired. Bang. 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 Dense white beams struck the Night Watchman's body. Nothing happened. Instead, the bandaged ghost behind him suffered 2 stray shots. Terrified, it turned and fled. Damn it all, they're fighting. That human brat is fighting Lord Lantern-bearing Night Watchman. The bandaged ghost shouted while running, quickly leaving the conflict zone. This guy has a physical form too. Switch bullets. Incendiary rounds. Fiery red bullets seamlessly followed the white beams, aiming for the Night Watchman's chest. But his black leather coat seemed flame-resistant. Though the incendiary rounds exploded on impact, they failed to ignite it. Delete clothing. With a pointing gesture from Qizhao, the Night Watchman's apparently flame-resistant black leather coat instantly vanished. Beneath it was a skeleton of white bones. No flesh or organs. At the heart position burned a strange cluster of black flames. No wonder it wouldn't burn. Probably not the coat's fault. How do you burn bare bones? Realizing the incendiary round's ineffectiveness, Qizhao immediately switched to frost bullets. Sure enough, freezing frost spread across the Night Watchman's ribs upon impact. Ice crystals began forming. All this happened within 2 breaths. The Night Watchman showed no concern about his skeletal body being exposed. Holding the brass kerosene lamp steadily in his left hand, he raised his right toward Qizhao. Dozens of iron chains shot from his palm. Fate's gallows chains. The chains moved lightning fast toward Qizhao's neck. Qizhao immediately activated words of power, 0 time and rolled right. Barely dodging the attack. So fast. Without words of power, dodging would be impossible. Though missing initially, the gallows chains didn't stop pursuing. They suddenly extended, still aiming for Qizhao's neck. These chains had homing properties. Qizhao quickly drew Lust, holding the vibrating blade vertically before his head. He met the chains head-on. With Lust's high-frequency vibrations, Qizhao brute-forced through the chains. The Night Watchman froze. These unbreakable gallows chains were severed by a mere dagger? Interesting. He clenched his fist, retracting the chains. The Night Watchman realized Qizhao had deliberately tested him. If Qizhao had dodged at his initial speed, the chains could never have caught him. This exchange clearly went to Qizhao. Not giving his opponent breathing room, Qizhao sheathed Lust and drew his niche iron blade. He'd previously lent this to Li Diansheng during the train trading platform battle. After the Zune defense ended, Li Diansheng promptly returned it. Words of power, 0 time. Flame breathing, 3rd form, blazing universe. Combining both skills, Qizhao appeared before the Night Watchman almost instantaneously. With overwhelming momentum, Zhao slashed downward at his neck. The blade trailed crimson flames. Clang! The Nichiren blade struck the night watchman's neck with metallic resonance. Feeling the numbness in his wrist, Zhao frowned. Is this guy in full physical form? No wonder the spirit-banishing rounds couldn't penetrate. Didn't even scratch him. This hardness surpasses even in Mu's neck. Maybe because he's not a demon, the Nichiren blade's full power doesn't work on him. Zhao retreated, dodging the night watchman's black tiger steel's heart strike. Simultaneously, he left a high-explosive grenade in the night watchman's ribcage. Boom. The grenade, powerful enough to obliterate a full-grown buffalo, merely cracked a few ribs. The night watchman looked down as his lamp's flame turned dark emerald. Under the green light, the rib fractures rapidly healed. Once healed, the flame turned red. He shook the lamp, releasing a ghost with an executioner's fork for one hand and a gaseous tail. These ghosts immediately pounced at Zhao. Another shake released an identical ghost. After dozens of shakes, Zhao found himself surrounded. Interesting, self-healing and minion summoning. While dodging, Zhao used his ZZ pistol to clear the swarming ghosts. Perfect, worth controlling. Unfortunately, these summoned ghosts didn't drop train coins when killed. Instead of vanishing into particles, they collapsed into white ash, resembling either cigarette ash or cremation remains. This ash eroded the ground, transforming solid stone into muddy swamp. Moreover, ghostly hands occasionally emerged to grab Zhao's ankles. As more ghosts fell, less solid ground remained. Yet the night watchman walked unaffected. The accumulated ash formed a vast white swamp. Forced airborne, Zhao summoned nanobugs to hover 3 meters up. But their speed couldn't match his words of power. The night watchman's right hand shot out dozens of gallows chains. TCH, this swamp is such a nuisance. Zhao immediately retreated on his nanobugs. Switching back to lust to parry the chains. Chapter 259, Level 6 Treasure Chest opened. Spirit warding talisman. After exiting the swamp area, Zhao took out a single white earphone and put it on. Confidence earphones. Once worn, they play corresponding background music depending on the situation, boosting your confidence and fighting spirit. Hearing the uplifting music from the earphone, Zhao's battle intent surged even higher. He raised his arm toward the night watchman, stuck up his middle finger, and shouted loudly, "Come at me. Night watchman. You're definitely tough, reminds me of an old acquaintance. But if this drags on, what about your kid?" Zhao chuckled, "Don't try to scare me, he's safer than I am." The next moment, Zhao aimed his ZZ pistol at the lantern in the night watchman's hand, unleashing a torrent of frost bullets. Freeze it. No summoning little ghosts for you. This move was quite effective. A layer of frost tightly covered the oil lamp. No matter how the night watchman shook it, no new ghosts could be summoned. He hurriedly swung chains, whipping the oil lamp, trying to break the ice. But Zhao wasn't about to give him that chance. He flipped out Old Master Ren. While Old Master Ren opened his mouth, gathering energy, Zhao kept pouring frost bullets at the night watchman, maintaining control. Finally, Old Master Ren finished charging. A pure white energy beam shot out from his mouth, aiming straight at the black flame in the night watchman's chest. When the two collided, it was like fire meeting ice and snow, emitting sizzling sounds. The night watchman winced in pain and quickly dodged to the side. But because of that, the part of his right chest exposed to the white light instantly vaporized and disappeared. Old Master Ren fired his cannon and went into cool down. Zhao seized the opportunity and launched a sudden assault. Flame breathing, Form 5, Flame Tiger. Zhao lunged forward, swinging out a giant slash like a blazing tiger. All the ghostly hands reaching out from the swamp were completely burned away by the scorching flames. The Nichiren blade precisely stabbed into the black flame in the night watchman's chest. Judging by his earlier dodge of the energy cannon, this thing is definitely his weak spot. The scorching Nichiren blade erupted with even stronger flames, engulfing the night watchman's entire body in fire. Not even 3 minutes had passed, and the leather jacket Zhao had deleted hadn't reappeared yet. Otherwise, it would have burned up too. Just perfect for me to see what kind of face you hide under that mask. Delete clothes. With a thought from Zhao, the yellow brass beak mask on the night watchman's face also disappeared. But Zhao felt no discomfort. It was just an ordinary mask. So the mental energy consumption was very low, almost negligible. The roaring flames reflected the gaunt face of the lantern bearer. That pale gray skin looked like a withered corpse. From the voice, I thought it was a handsome young man, but it's still a monster. The night watchman seemed unusually furious from losing his mask. The flames on his chest intensified and suddenly erupted violently. Seeing this, Zhao immediately retreated quickly. The black flames wrapped the night watchman's entire body. The red light of the lantern in the night watchman's hand suddenly went out. But on closer look, the light wasn't extinguished, The flame transformed into a strange black color. The black flames brought no light, instead enveloping a 50-meter radius around him in absolute darkness. Eternal night black light. The darkness around the night watchman sharply contrasted with the warm, blazing firelight around Chizhou. Chizhou felt uneasy. He couldn't see through fate anymore. Is it really that dark? Chizhou immediately controlled the nanobots to lift Old Master Ren into the air. Old Master Ren's eyes had been modified to emit intense bright light. A fierce white light shot out but couldn't penetrate the area around the night watchman. That black flame seemed to repel light? This guy sure has some strange moves. At that moment, Chizhou's claw phone in his pocket began to vibrate. It was Lao Yu calling. Chizhou answered the call, and Lao Yu excitedly said, "Captain, got it. I'll bring it over to you." "No need, I'll come back to get it." Chizhou hung up and nodded in satisfaction. Zaya's pretty efficient. Just earlier, when Lao Yu returned to the train and reported safely, Chizhou sent him a text. Chizhou told Lao Yu to use the spare screen in the train car to contact Zai. He told Zai not to buy any more level 7 treasure chests for now, but to hurry up and buy a level 6 treasure chest key and send it over urgently. After getting the key, Lao Yu called to notify Chizhou. "Anyway, we can't figure out what big move this guy is hiding, better to retreat first." Chizhou immediately recalled Old Master Ren and the nanobots and ran like crazy. In the eternal night black light, the night watchman had a stern face. "Bastard, don't run." The black flames around his body intensified and he actually flew up in place. He chased after Chizhou like this. Chizhou didn't care, kept his head down and sprinted wildly. On the way back, many ghosts reappeared in the area that had been cleared earlier. He rampaged through them, killing any that blocked his path. If they didn't block him, he ignored them. The priority was to get back and open the level 6 treasure chest first. The little over 3 kilometers were covered by Chizhou in just over a minute. Beside his train, many ghosts surrounded it, and Lao Yu was standing at the door, slaughtering them like crazy. Because of the presence of a fake newbie, the ghosts couldn't enter the carriage, so Lao Yu stood at the door shooting the 3 pure guns one by one. Quite comfortable. Seeing Chizhou return, Lao Yu was full of excitement. "Captain, get inside the train, get inside." Chizhou entered the train and shut the door behind him. The night watchman who chased after him was dumbfounded. A warning rang in his mind. This train didn't allow him to touch it. Damn, another one of these trains. No wonder this guy was so calm. The night watchman's anger had nowhere to vent. The black flames around his body began to withdraw. His expression was grim. Inside the carriage. "Captain, the key." Chizhou took a metal screwdriver from Lao Yu's hand. He stabbed the screwdriver into the book, and a white light flashed. Finally, the book could be opened. 60 train coins burst out, and a slightly transparent round talisman paper was tucked inside the book. Chizhou took it out. Spirit warding talisman, insert into the soul core to control the spirit, good. Its usage was similar to the corpse driving talisman. But one was stuck on the head, and the other inserted into the soul core. Meaning it was directly inserted into the spiritual body. This night watchman was indeed interesting. But this guy was physical, where was his soul core? Could it be that black flame on his chest? But if not, wouldn't the spirit warding talisman just get burned? Chizhou instantly fell into a dilemma. It was like a gamble with a 50% chance. If inserted, it might work. Or the talisman might just be destroyed. Take the risk? No, there was only one spirit warding talisman, better to be cautious. Chizhou immediately opened the carriage door, stood inside, and shouted to the night watchman outside, "Why aren't you chasing? Come inside." The night watchman coldly ignored him. All the surrounding ghosts had been driven away by him. Knowing the two had hidden inside the train and couldn't be harmed, it was useless to linger. It would only be a waste of lives.